Hey everyone, welcome back. You're watching the Data Labs and my name is Dilip. We are here to share another exciting tutorial with you. Today we will show you how to create a data entry application using ChatGPT. Okay, so this technique will help you build a user form in just a few minutes, making you more productive as a developer. And the best part is, even if you are a beginner, you can easily follow along and create your own data entry form in Excel. So let's get started. So first thing first, make sure you have Microsoft Excel installed on your system, because we will be using Excel built-in Visual Basic Editor to write our VBA code. So let's open the Excel file or Excel application basically. Okay, and create this blank workbook. Now save this file, give the name as data entry application using ChatGPT. Okay, make sure save as type should be macro enabled, because we are going to write a macro, and click on save. Now we need to create two different worksheets in this project. So first is already there, just click on this plus icon and it will insert one more worksheet. Now quickly rename both the worksheet. First one would be home and the second one would be a database. Okay, so let's come to the home worksheet. Here we need to insert a button so that we can use that button to run the data entry form. So let's quickly go to the insert tab here, and from insert tab click on illustration and then shapes, and take any of the shapes, like maybe rectangle or rounded rectangle. So I'm taking this rounded rectangle and drawing here. Okay, let's take this formatting from here basically. So I'm going to take maybe this format, right click on it, edit, and just show form, show maybe data entry form. Okay, select it, go to the home, center and middle line, increase the font size a little bit more. Now we are done with this button. Go to the view and untick this grid line. So we are done with home worksheet. Let's move to the database worksheet here. And in database worksheet we need to create some column headers, so that while using the data entry form we can transfer the data from form to database worksheet. So let's put column header. So first would be serial number. Okay, the second would be name, then gender, and then mobile number. Okay, and then we have country, then address, then submitted by, submitted on. Okay, let's increase the column header, this column width basically, so that all the data can fit here. Now let's go to the home tab, select some color formatting here. I'm just going to this black and white, or so maybe blue. Now remove the grid line, and if you want to apply some border to make it professional look, so you can apply the border here. I'm selecting a border here, maybe let's select this green, this. Okay, so we are done with database worksheet. So in this database worksheet, the column serial number and this submitted by and submitted on, that would be provided, that would be updated by code itself, but rest of the information like name, gender, mobile number, country, address, all this data will come from user itself. Okay, so user will update all these details in data entry form, and with the help of Visual Basic application code we will be transferring the data from form to database worksheet. Okay, so this is done. As we are going to use VBA project object model in this project, so we need to make some changes in the trust settings of Excel, so that we can easily access VBA object model using our VBA code. So let's go to the file and then click on options. Once you click on options, it will open this Excel option window. From option window you just need to select this, click on trust center, And in trust center, you just need to click on trust center settings. Okay, and in trust center, if you look at this, what we need to do, we need to go to the click on this macro settings and tick this this one, trust access to the VBA project object model. So I have already ticked it. Just check in case you have not selected it, just select it and click on OK, and then click on OK. So now we are done with the trust center settings. So what we need to do, we need to jump to this Visual Basic environment window so that we can start development. So to do that, you just need to click on developer tab here, and then under code group just click on Visual Basic button. Alternatively, you can press Alt F11 as a shortcut key to open this VBA Visual Basic editor window. Okay, so let's click on this Visual Basic, and now you can see that we are in this Microsoft Visual Basic for application, data entry application, basically this project. Okay, so before doing anything, what we need to do, we need to give set some reference to this project. Okay, and the reference would be Visual Basic application extensibility 5.3. so let's click on these tools and then click on reference, and from in this reference you just need to find out Microsoft Visual Basic for application extensibility 5.3. so let's go down here, Microsoft. Let's check one by one here. So okay, so if you look at this one, we need to select this Microsoft Visual Basic for applications extensibility 5.3. so let's tick it and click on OK. So now let's start by creating a user form, and the user form will serve as a data entry interface. So to generate the Visual Basic code for creating the form, we will be using ChatGPT. Okay, so I will enter a prompt in ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will provide the code for us. Okay, so before we proceed to ChatGPT and enter the prompt, let's take a look at the prompts which are required to generate the Visual Basic code for this data entry application. So here, if you look at this, I have already created all these prompts. Like basically we have 5 different prompts: prompt 1, 2, and then 3, 4 and 5. So all these prompts fulfill some different purpose of this database entry application. So using first prompt, what we are saying, we are setting the context basically and asking ChatGPT that all the subsequent prompt will be coming from the same topic. It means ChatGPT will not be confused, and while answering on every prompt, like ChatGPT will think in a sequential way. Okay, and the second prompt is we are asking here to generate the Visual Basic application code so that we can design the form in runtime mode. It means we do not need to go and create the form, put the text box control, combo box controls, and set the properties to design the form. All those activity will be done by Visual Basic application code itself. Okay, so that this prompt will fulfill the purpose of creating the form runtime, like at the runtime basically. Okay, in the third prompt, what we are asking, like we are asking to write a sub procedure named initialize, and that initialize sub procedure will will work for reset button as well as to initialize the form control. It means whenever the form will get loaded to memory, all the values of like text box, combo box, everything will be cleared, and the combo box will be populated with new value, that is country name. That is like here, if you look at this, I have put like India, Pakistan, Germany, France, Japan, China and Philippines. Okay, so this is how we can initialize all the controls. The fourth prompt is to generate the code which are required to transfer the data from a data entry form to database worksheet, which we have already created in our Excel. Okay, so this is one of the crucial part of this data entry application. And the fifth prompt is it will write a Visual Basic sub procedure on click event of reset button, so that whenever user will click on reset button, it will take the confirmation from user whether user wants to reset the form or not. If user will click on yes, then it will reset the form. If user will click on no, then it will not do anything. Okay, so these are the basic activity which we'll be performing using this prompt. Now we have good understanding of all these prompts, and if you want to download all these prompts, you can refer the description box. I have already provided a web page link from where you can get all these prompts as well as step-by-step guide to develop data entry application using ChatGPT. All right, so let's first of all, let's copy this first prompt here. Okay, and then move to this this ChatGPT window, and in ChatGPT I am going to put this, okay, and press enter. So this will set the context, and ChatGPT will be aware about, okay, we will be entering multiple prompts and that would be associated with the same topic. Okay, so you can see that it has confirmed. Now let's come back to this notepad, and we need to copy this the second prompt, that is for Visual Basic Code to design the form at runtime. So press Ctrl C and go to this and Ctrl V and hit the enter key. And as ChatGPT will take some time to generate the code, so let's wait. So you can see that it has done with the creating or you can say generating the text, that is the Visual Basic Code. So let's move on top and let's click on here to copy the code. Let's move to the Excel file, and in Visual Basic environment window we need to paste the code basically. So first of all we need to insert one module, that is the blank module, and in blank module just press Ctrl V to paste the. Okay, so if you are comfortable with Visual Basic application code, you can go through all this code line by line and see whether any mistake has been done by ChatGPT or not, and then make the correction. If you are not comfortable, don't worry, just run this code, and if you see any error, take the error details and go to the ChatGPT and ask this error is showing. ChatGPT will provide the updated Visual Basic Code to you. Okay, so in that way you can fix all those errors. But let's quickly look at this. Everything is looking fine, name, properties, caption, all this. So at the end, if you look at this, it has added a code to show this form. So I'm not going to use this code to show. I will be primarily utilizing this code to create the user form. Okay, so let's save this and run this code. So now you can see that it has created a beautiful form, and just imagine that we have not created this form, we have not inserted any text box, anything. And if you look at this, everything is properly, if you look at this name, even the form name, so all are professionally designed. Okay, so the next step is to write the Visual Basic Code to initialize this form. So let's come to this notepad here and go to the third prompt. Okay, so this prompt basically, let's copy this prompt, come to the ChatGPT, paste it over here and hit the enter key. Okay, let's wait for the confirmation message from ChatGPT. Once it will generate the code, we will simply copy and paste the code in our Visual Basic environment window. Now you can see that it has done, and I think it has taken the same control name, everything is on the same. So let's copy the code and let's go to this Visual Basic environment window, and under module window at the bottom of this code just paste this. Now we need to call this initialize sub procedure. So let's come here, double click on this form, and here on initialize like paste it over here. So what we are doing, we are calling this procedure on initialize event. Okay, Control S, let's come to this form, run this form. So if our initialize procedure is correct, it will show the value in combo box. So you can see that it has started showing the combo box and rest of the fields are blank. So it means initialize procedure is working perfectly. Let's come to this notepad again And here we need to take this prompt 4, and prompt 4 is just for generating the Visual Basic application code to transfer the data from data entry form to Excel, the database sheet. Okay, so let's copy this prompt, go to the ChatGPT, and in ChatGPT prompt section just press Ctrl V to paste this and hit the enter. Let's wait for the confirmation. So now it has done with providing the codes. Let's move on top, copy the code, and this is for click event of submit button. So let's move to the Visual Basic application window and double click on submit. What we need to do, we need to replace this line of codes with the code which we have copied it. So just press Ctrl V to paste it. Now you can see that we have added Visual Basic sub procedure on click event of submit button. Okay, so we will be testing this. So let's go run this form, and let's try to transfer some data from this data entry form to this database sheet. So I'm just putting name here, Dilip, selecting gender as male, mobile number just a dummy number here. Okay, country name, that would be India, and of course address would be Delhi. Now I'm clicking on submit. If the code will be perfectly fine, then data will get transferred from this to this, and this form will get reset. So let's see. Something wrong with that. Like, let's come to this Visual Basic here, and I think the submit, if you look at this, the name here submit, somehow it has taken some different name. So we can make the correction. Let's come here and replace this submit with CMD submit. Okay, delete this blank one, press Ctrl S to save this file. Again, come back to the form and run this form. It put the same details, Dilip, dummy number here, then address, country and address Delhi. Click on submit. So here you can look at this, like it's asking confirmation, like are you sure want to transfer the data? Click on yes and click on OK. So you can see that like the data has transferred and all the columns are perfectly transferred to the corresponding column header, basically like name, gender, mobile, all this. But I can see one issue here, and that is serial number. So serial number is getting some different. I think it's taking -1. So let's go to this one, and here I can delete this -1. That's how we can fix it. So even if we can generate the same code asking ChatGPT not to deduct one from this row number, but it's a very simple, so we can do it manually. Now this code is done. Time to give the prompt of this last, where we will be generating the reset function code. So let's copy this prompt, come to this ChatGPT, enter the prompt, hit the enter, and just wait for the confirmation. Okay, so you can see that it has done with required codes. Let's copy it, and again it has not taken the prefix of command button, so we will fix that. Let's come to this Visual Basic application code, go to this form, double click on reset button, and if you look at this, it's showing reset. So what I'm doing, I'm just pasting within this this CMD reset and removing this, the first one, this one. Okay, press Ctrl S to save this. Again, if you want to check this whether reset function is working perfectly or not, so I'm putting some name here and then clicking on reset. It will take confirmation. I will click on yes. Now you can see that it has reset. So now we are done with all the required codes. So to make it more user friendly, one line item or one Visual Basic code we need to add manually, that is to show the form. So let me write the code here, sub show form, and the code would be frm user form dot show. Okay, so we will be utilizing this this line of a statement, or you can say that show form on click event of the button which we have created on home sheet. So let's come back to Excel on home, and we need to call that procedure on this show data entry form. So let's right click on that and assign macro here. Just select this show form and click on OK. Okay, now we are done with creating this data entry application using ChatGPT. So let's run one more time to do the testing from end to end. So I'm just clicking on this show data form, and once I will click on that, it will show the data entry form which we have created. Okay, now let's delete Tiwari, and here gender male, that is number. Again I am putting some fictitious number, and then country name, that is India and Delhi. Okay, I'm clicking on submit. It's taking the confirmation yes. Now data has transferred, so everything is transferred here. I'm putting some value here, clicking on reset. Yes, you can see that it's working. So all the functions are correctly working on this. Let's close this form, move to the database sheet. Now you can see that the records has been transferred correctly. So the first record having 0 serial number is just because of the error was in a serial number calculation basically. So we have already fixed that. So whenever we will transfer the data in future, all the serial number will reflect accordingly, basically correct. Okay, so that was all about creating a basic data entry application in Excel using ChatGPT. If you are interested, let us know, and in the next part of our tutorial we can cover some advanced feature like validation, searching, editing, deleting, printing, emailing, and more using ChatGPT. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Have a great day. Bye bye.